Our program will begin in 5 minutes. Our program is about to begin. Please find your seats and silence your cell phones.
It's a Welcome to the session ElevateNow, the ECC to S/4HANA Migration Challenge. We have our esteemed speakers with us, Richard Motteram, Head of Pre-Sales Americas, ServiceNow Practice Eviden, and Jen Strandbygaard, Senior Director, Product Management, ServiceNow.
Hello, hello. Everyone hear me okay? Yes, we can. Excellent. Good. Thanks for joining us. My name is Richard Motteram. I'm Head of Pre-Sales Solution Architecture for the Americas in our ServiceNow practice at Eviden, a new company that we're officially launching at Knowledge this year. On stage with me, Jens.
Hello, my name is Jens Strandbygaard. I was the founder and CEO of K23, which was acquired in 2021. So I'm actually from the SAP world, standing here together with Richard. So I'll be giving him difficult questions at some point, I'm sure. Nice to meet you all today, and I lead ERP modernization and greater workflows. Nice to meet you all.
Good stuff. Good, excellent. So first slide I'm hitting up is we are Eviden. So as I say, we are launching this year. At Knowledge, essentially what Eviden is a €5 billion scale up from the Atos roots. We're branching out as our own entity, and who we are, we're 9,000 expert SAP consultants, 1,000 ServiceNow consultants globally, and we're one of the highest rated CSATs in the industry, both for 2021 and 2022. And yeah, we're here to help with our ECC colleague and our ECC migration through the journey. Jens, do you want to talk a bit about that collaboration that you've had with Atos and now Eviden over the year and how it come together?
So before joining ServiceNow in 21, actually Atos was one of our very good partners globally. So we're doing SAP transformations together with Atos. And what we had was a technology that could help identify and remediate custom code in SAP systems. You know, SAP is a very monolithic system. It is, so if you wanted a change back in the day, 20 years ago, if you wanted it to support your business processes specifically, there was only one way to do it, and that was by molesting the SAP system and adding custom code into the core of it. And over time, that has evolved into a monstrous affair. So in Gekko-Brain, we helped by analyzing that custom code and helped remediate it so they could move more easily to newer versions of SAP. And in that case, we work very closely with Atos, using our tool to help SAP customers, get rid of all that custom code or at least fix it so it would run in a newer version of SAP. So we know each other well for many years now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So why are we talking about SAP and ServiceNow, and why is it important? So key message for me is ServiceNow is now SAP ready. ServiceNow has now over 100 integration hub actions directly tailored for SAP. It has SAP standard table structures natively in the platform. The launch of ERP customization mining at Knowledge this year is a key component in building out the ServiceNow SAP compatibility and capability. And the native low-code, no-code engine in ServiceNow enables us to build out real SAP workflows in ServiceNow. As you know, Jens.
Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely. So,
do you want me to add something to that?
Yes.
I think what's really what's surprising to us, being from the SAP world, having worked with these very, very complex ERP systems for many years, we again, you have to understand, I love SAP. I have to be honest about that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have worked with it for so many years. But what we could see was that some things were really, really difficult to do in SAP. We had to really tweak it to make it do what we wanted it to do. So when ServiceNow approached us and said, hey, we're interested in a collaboration, maybe acquisition, I said no, because ITSM has nothing to do with my world, until I found out that there's actually, it's a platform, and Creator Workflows solves a lot of those problems that we've spent hours and hours and days and months and years to solve in SAP. So that workflow, or the focus on how to make workflow better in a company or for a person is very different from a transactional way of looking at it, right? Absolutely. It's always, a workflow in SAP is a series of transactions. Workflow here is work that needs to get done across multiple systems.
Absolutely right, yeah, absolutely. And we see that the system of record, the SAP system, naturally lends itself to have a system of innovation and engagement like ServiceNow sitting alongside it, allowing us to build the systems of differentiation together. That is a key message for me, and a key reason why we, as Eviden, are talking to you today, is we've done the hard work to combine our ServiceNow and SAP practices together to deliver to you the consultants you need to go on this journey.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Jens, do you want to talk about the ServiceNow system of differentiation and innovation?
Yeah, I can talk a little about that. So as you know, ServiceNow is all about, it's a platform, and originally, you all know this, but I think what's really interesting is that it's one data model, one architecture. So when where we come from, with my tool, the GeckoBrain software, in order to be part of ServiceNow, we had to re-platform. There was no discussion. Nothing from the old GeckoBrain can be reused. Everything has to be re-platformed onto the ServiceNow platform. And the beauty of that is that whenever you use our tool, and that, for instance, we'll get back to what it does more specifically, but when you're developing anything where our tool is involved, that also gives you the access to everything else in ServiceNow. So if you have a problem in SAP and you want to solve that on the ServiceNow platform, you have a whole host of different tools and products and technologies readily available out of the box on the same platform and on the same data model to solve those problems. It opens a whole host of opportunities of incredibly fast innovation on top of a system of record like SAP's. And I was taken aback by it. I put my people in front of it and said, hey, try to develop something on ServiceNow that integrates with SAP. It took them less than 2 hours and they had an application. I was like, I don't believe this. It is incredibly fast. And then you can say, oh, I need a little bit of RPA, document intelligence. So you can mix and match as you please to build these applications. So I think this is really the super cool thing about it. And this is why this also talks to SAP people. So I'm sure most of you are more ServiceNow than SAP. But the SAP world is not interested in doing complicated stuff in SAP where SAP is not the right tool for the job. It's much better to offload that to ServiceNow competency centers who can do that at speed, at scale, and with super high security while keeping SAP in place as the system of record. We're not changing that. ServiceNow just sits on top and makes sure that everything flows easier underneath it. So if it's SAP, Workday, whatever, Oracle, we are on the very top of all that, making sure that the workflow is easier, but the data stays intact in those systems of record because they run the business like nothing else. ServiceNow just runs the work.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we in Eviden, with our SAP and ServiceNow practice together, have a unique offering and be able to do this system of innovation, to build this with our customers. And we're really excited about the prospect of how this can go forwards with our ERP strategy and the S/4HANA migration journey. Absolutely. Good. So what is ElevateNow? What is the proposition? Essentially, as Jens was saying, there's a shortage of APAP developers out there building SAP-centric applications in BTP. There's inefficient manual processes across the ECC. This ElevateNow coming together of these practices enables us to deliver that better customer experience, that resilient, scalable application stack on the platform of innovation and engagement that is ServiceNow. As you would say, Jens.
Yeah, it does. It's but it's also important to remember, and I think this is one thing where you have a very keen focus on that. Not everything is better in ServiceNow. It's not like we say, oh, here's a system of record, let's start moving stuff out and do it in ServiceNow. That would be a disaster. But some things are much better off on ServiceNow. Other things are much better off in the system of record. So we're not trying to become an ERP system. We're not trying to become a system of record. We just want to sit on top. And you can say right now, most customers are moving from ECC to S/4HANA, and they've got all this technical debt that they're trying to figure out what to do with. So one thing is, again, we can help get rid of some of that technical debt. But secondly, we can also provide them a system of innovation today that can make innovations come through tomorrow. So they're not stuck in an S/4HANA upgrade that takes 5, 6, 7 years.
Absolutely.
You can get started today, right?
That's the worst case scenario, and that's what we want to try and avoid as well. Absolutely, absolutely. So this journey that we're going on in Eviden with our SAP and ServiceNow practice together, we recognize that you, the customer, is going on this journey as well, right? We're going through strategy and architecture, discover and explore, realize, deploy, run and improve. And every stage of this process, we can help in conjunction with ServiceNow, with ERP customization mining, cloud migration assessments, all sorts of tools in the Now platform are enabling us as consultants to bring you the solutions that matter.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I can add to that what we're seeing is an increased, you can say, openness to how ServiceNow can help these huge transformation projects on S4 from ECC to S4 HANA. And I was just with some customers, and they've made the decision that they have always one ServiceNow practitioner as part of the S4 HANA, as part of the SAP engagements. So that means every time they have something, so that they'll have ID generation, or they'll have looking for the specs for what they want to do, and when they get to that, they want to have someone from the ServiceNow Center of Excellency present, because otherwise, it'll be, we do it the same way we did it last year. That was, okay, these are all the gaps. We built them on SAP, but in reality, what we want to do is have a look at that, all those gaps, and then have the ServiceNow practitioner look at it and say, oh, number 1, 3, 5, 10, and 25, we can do in ServiceNow at speed. So let's take that and handle that for you. Now you need to focus only on the remaining, because they are more SAP specific or ERP specific. So I think it really, it's a matter of, as in your case, getting this ServiceNow thought into the process very early. And I think that's the beauty of your ElevateNow, because it's exactly what you're doing. You're saying it's not either or, it's SAP and ServiceNow.
Absolutely.
And it's who's best where.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see that the customers are on different types of journey as well. So we have a full digital transformation taking place in the enterprise, or it's just IT modernization that they're looking to achieve with this ECC core migration. Either or, we've got the expertise to help. Yeah. In conjunction with ServiceNow, and the work that we've done together is a better together message, and that's what we're looking to bring to you, the customer, today.
Yeah, and I think it's been interesting also to work on these offerings together, because it's interesting to see the SAP practice. We came with our contacts in the SAP practice of Eviden, and ServiceNow came with the contacts in the ServiceNow practice. And I was pretty curious about, hey, how's this going to fare when the SAP people have to sort of get used to Jens saying ServiceNow, ServiceNow, ServiceNow instead of SAP, SAP, SAP. So we got together and we started working on this. And from the very beginning, the leadership, the global leadership of your SAP practice and your global leadership of your ServiceNow practice joined in these conversations.
Absolutely.
And chipped in, and suddenly, it evolved to be something that helped the SAP practice as much as the ServiceNow practice. And I just love those, it's not a zero-sum game. SAP wins, Eviden wins, we win, and the customer wins. It's just
it's a win-win-win, absolutely.
Yeah. That's back to the exponential business, really.
Yeah, exponential is the word of today, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like to layer in as well, as part of the application performance monitoring with Dynatrace and App Dynamics, we're able to scan that estate and help with that migration journey, with that cloud migration assessment platform inside ServiceNow. So it's not only the fact that we're able to have that low-code, no-code element to the modernization, the innovation migration, we also have the help with planning that ECC core to S4 HANA migration, the path through this journey together. We can help you, the customer, with our knowledge, with our expertise, with joining together of these worlds. And that's the hard part, I think, joining these worlds together, getting them thinking along the same lines. That's the challenge.
Couldn't agree more.
Absolutely. Yeah. Excellent. So Jens, what I would like to do is just hand the stage over to you a little bit, just talk more about ERP modernization, why the customization mining that you're launching at Knowledge this year, what that's going to bring to the...
Yeah, we're launching it in what we call controlled go-to-market. Yep. So only the ones that ask really nicely will be allowed to get their hands on it. But what we're doing is that we took the old technology from Gecko Brain, which was all about analyzing an SAP system, finding all the custom code in that SAP system, And mind you, we're talking about huge amounts of custom code in some systems. I was with a customer just the other day. They have 28 million lines of code in the SAP system, custom code, all sorts of mess that's been added. And every single program is important because it tackles competitive advantage. So without custom code, you're nobody, because then you have, then you're just like everybody else. So it's important. But had they had SAP back in the day, or had ServiceNow back in the day, a lot of that custom code, or some of that custom code, would probably have been built on ServiceNow. Sadly, it was not available 20 years ago, but it is now. So what we're doing is that we've changed our algorithm to look at all that custom code and see, hey, is there any of those programs that you've developed that look like they would run better on ServiceNow? Like, would you have built them on ServiceNow had you had ServiceNow back then? That means we end up with kind of a laundry list of potential candidates, custom programs built in SAP that could potentially be moved to ServiceNow fast. And if you then look at that list and you choose one and say, okay, I found a custom program in SAP, I actually want to build that in ServiceNow, then we make all the relevant SAP data objects readily available in ServiceNow. That means that a ServiceNow developer goes into App Engine Studio, builds this application, pulls in, as you saw in the beginning, the relevant SAP data object, and we are doing that as a remote table. So here, I'm sure you're familiar with a remote table. So that's virtualization, meaning it really plays into the philosophy of letting SAP be the system of records. But we need to work with the data once in a while. So that means we create these data pills, remote tables. It could be like an SAP sales order. So when the developer wants to work with a SAP sales orders, drags it in, and it's readily available on live productive SAP data. And once you've done whatever you need to do, the data leaves ServiceNow again and is written back into SAP. So we don't store anything. We just keep it there for the reminder, for the time you need it for this particular application to run. So that means SAP, system of record, ServiceNow, system of action, super fast innovation, super fast change on top of those. So I think that really is the crux of it. Finding relevant candidates, building them fast on ServiceNow, cleaning up SAP slowly, steadily, and also building new things. So going forward, there's no point in building it in SAP. Just build it on ServiceNow using the exact same tools.
Absolutely, and engaging us to help you on this journey. We've got the skill set, the experience, the tie together between that SAP ServiceNow practice to enable you to meet that journey and make that ERP customization mining targets a reality in the low-code, no-code platform that is ServiceNow.
Yeah,
absolutely. Great. Really, that sort of sums up the main content of today. What we want to leave you with is this message that really this has been co-developed with ServiceNow, as I think is evident on stage today, evident with Eviden, and we are the solution to bring this journey to you. And we're very happy to have that conversation. We're over at booth 321, just behind us over there. So if you do have any questions specifically about this, please come and talk to us. And I do need to note as well, we are giving away a digital notebook every single day. So one lucky attendee will win one of the remarkable tablets. So do please come over to our booth in 321. And if you have a business challenge you're looking to overcome, bring it to us and we'll help solve it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
I know what you're thinking when the bass starts ringing. Can you tell me when you're stoked to start? Are you ready for tonight? Setting it on fire and we'll dance until we're dumb in the dark. My lady, I know what you're thinking when the bass starts ringing. Can you tell me when you're stoked to start? Are you ready for tonight? Setting it on fire and we'll dance until we're dumb in the dark. I know what you're thinking when the bass starts ringing. Can you tell me when you're stoked to start? Are you ready for tonight? Setting it on fire and we'll dance until we're dumb in the dark. My lady, I know what you're thinking when the bass starts ringing. Can you tell me when you're stoked to start? Are you ready for tonight? Setting it on fire and we'll dance until we're dumb in the dark. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Break me down, I'm ready. Break me down. 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 I won't forget you, but I may forget your name.